Hey there. Wow. Yeah, I am excited to let you know about work ethic. This is something that you can carry through your entire life. One of the things that I really wanted to pour into my daughters was a good work ethic. Once they have that, the sky's the limit with your career. Whatever you want to do in life, if you want to work for somebody else, work for a big company, work for a small company, work on your own, build your own company, do your own thing, work from home, whatever that is, if you have a good work ethic, you're going to soar with the eagles. Trust me, it is a valuable thing. So let's talk about work ethic. I'm going to give you 8 practical tips for how to create a strong work ethic. And this is one of the most valuable characteristics that you can have on your resume, in your character, in your person, as you go out there and start building a career. Okay, number 1. Some of these are really simple and common sense. Some of them might not be, but again, most of the things that I tell you about are common sense. They're things that you should know, but it's a reminder to know it and it's a reminder to apply it, right? Because knowing something and applying something, 2 different things. You got to be able to know it and apply it. So let's get started. Number 1, what you want to do to have a good work ethic is, obviously, show up early and stay a little late. Wherever you're working, whatever you're doing, even if it's for yourself, but especially for somebody else, you want to show up a little early. You don't want, if your punch time or your show up time is 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you do not want to go rolling in the parking lot at 9 o'clock. If your stop time is 5 o'clock, you don't want to be wrapping up your stuff at 4:59. Now, if you're a clock puncher, of course, is a little different because you can't punch the clock a little early or a little later. I get that. I'm talking about showing up in person, ready for work. So, rule number 1, show up a little early and stay a little late. The boss will notice and your paycheck will take a notice also. Number 2, you want to work off of a checklist. It's so much easier and you get a lot more done if you're working off of a checklist. So at the end of the day, you might create a checklist or what you want to get done tomorrow, or when you get there early, or how you start your day, you get some coffee, sit down, make a checklist for your entire day. If you're working off that checklist, it gives you a sense of accomplishment because you're going task by task and you're checking those off rather than just bouncing around and trying to figure out what you want to do. You lose a lot of time by doing that. So make sure, number 2, that you create a checklist and work off of that checklist. Now within the checklist, you might want to prioritize. You might want to figure out what's important, what needs to get done by noon, what needs to get done by the afternoon, any projects that have deadlines. Of course, you want to put that on your checklist as well. But it's a lot easier to work one task at a time and focus with deep thought on those missions, on those little tasks, than it is to just come in scattered and spread yourself all over like you're chasing a room full of wet cats. You don't want to do that. Not fun chasing wet cats. Number 3, don't ask questions that you can figure out on your own. I learned this the hard way. When I got out of college, I graduated. I actually had my first few years of work with my uncle, who was probably the most aggravating person on the planet, but in a very good way because he instilled so much quality work ethic that it has helped me all the way through my career. One of those things was don't ask if you can figure it out. So I would go and ask him a question and he would just look at me and say, "What do you think the answer is?" And I would like, "Oh, you could just tell me right now what the answer is," and it would save us both a lot of time. So really, you're the one that's wrong because you're costing us a lot of time. But really, he was teaching me the value of resourcefulness, trying to figure out things on your own. There's a lot of value in that. Now, if you come up with something that's not the right answer and you need validation, that's another thing. If you come and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Is this the right thing?" That's different than just saying, "What should I do about this?" Because you need to come with that solution if you can figure it out on your own. Number 4, always do more than you're asked to do, right? Duh. If somebody tells you to do something, do that plus a little more. It's always going to impress them when you go the extra mile. If they ask for 3 things, give them 4. If they ask for 6 things, give them 8. Always do that because it shows initiative and it shows creativity. It shows that resourcefulness to be able to figure out things on your own and to get them done, to go a little more, that extra mile. Because on another video I was talking about asking for a raise. If you do exactly what somebody asked you to do, then you're going to get exactly what they pay you to do. And you have no reason to ever ask for a raise. But if you do a little more, and you keep doing that and you build a pattern of doing more than what you're asked to do, you're setting yourself up every 6 to 8 months to a year to get that raise and put yourself in a great position to be able to get that raise. Number 5, never be doing nothing. This drives me nuts. If I'm around the workplace and I see people doing nothing, that drives me crazy. I don't know why, it's just something in me. Hopefully it drives you crazy too. But never be doing nothing. Don't wait on somebody to tell you what to do. If you find yourself with nothing to do, ask. Ask your coworker, ask your boss, ask the person down the hallway, is there something that you need help with? Is there something that I can do? Is there any projects that I can get my hands on? Can I help you make that deadline? Anything like that. Always be looking for work. That is a strong, strong way and a great characteristic for that work ethic. You want to make sure you have that. Number 6, and this is a big one, don't complain about work to someone you work with. That is a horrible, contagious, viral cancer throughout your company. Never get involved in office politics where you're talking badly about the company or other people in the company to people within your company. That's just a bad habit to do. It's gossip. It's wrong. You don't want to do it. You don't want to be talking behind people's backs. You just want to be a positive person bringing solutions to situations, right? So don't find yourself complaining about work to people at work. No, no, no. Number 7, turn complaints into suggestions for improvement. So rather than complaining about something, bring a solution. Come up with an idea for how to make that better. Whatever that situation is, whatever you're wanting to complain about, figure out how to solve it. Maybe 1, 2, 3 different ways for how to solve that and bring that to the table. You're going to be accepted and welcomed into a conversation if you're always bringing solutions for problems rather than complaining about a problem. Number 8 is ignore the haters. You will have haters in your life around the office if you start building a strong work ethic. They're going to say things like, the boss's pet, you're brown-nosing, you're a suck-up. Don't worry about it because guess what? They're always going to stay where they are and you're going to move right up through the ladder. You're going to be building something in yourself that's going to help you through your entire life and realize that the sky is not the limit. You can just go straight through it into the stratosphere if you do these things, if you build that strong work ethic. But you've got to build a thick skin to be able to ignore the haters. It's really tough when you start getting cliquey in work and everybody's kind of looking at you in a weird way. So you kind of have to figure out that balance between how to maintain those friendships, how to maintain that respect, but also build that strong work ethic. And there is a big difference between a kiss butt and somebody with strong work ethic. You don't want to just suck up and give compliments where they're not worthy and say things or do things. You don't want to be out in the parking lot washing the boss's car, for instance, unless he asks you to and you have to. But that's a different story. So anyway, you're going to have haters when you build this strong work ethic. But that's cool. That's just affirmation. If somebody comes up hating on you or you hear some language behind your back about that, don't worry about it. Just look at that as a badge of honor that you are building a strong work ethic. I hope you take these 8 things into heart, and I hope that you apply them into your life, because having a strong work ethic will just let you go through the roof in your career with anything that you do. So make sure you apply those. Hope you enjoyed this nugget of wisdom. Make sure you subscribe to this channel below. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon.